Hello, dear students. Hope all are fine. Today I am here with a new topic related to a program. So, the first thing is that we should understand what is a program. All of us know a program is a set of instruction that is written in a computer language for doing some work in the computer. According to the work, we give commands, we write instructions, and it becomes a program. Now, the fact is that it can be written in any computer language. A program can be written in any of the computer languages that we know very well. As you know that there are two types of programming language broadly divided. They are low level and high level. For us, we are comfortable to use high level language. So most of us, in most of the cases, whether it's school, students learning or the programmers writing program for developing software, most of us prefer to use high level language. And high level language again further divided according to their method of working. They are divided into two types according to the method of working. The first one is called procedural oriented language, that is POP, and the second one is called object oriented programming language. Okay, now when you talk about these two, there are certain similarities between them and there are a lot of difference also between them. So shall we go for similarity? The first one, both of them are high level language, number one. Number two, both are meant for data input, processing and output. So we write commands, we write program, we write statements in order to accept input or feed input in the program and get some processing work done and get information to get output. Now the next thing is that let's see some differences. So what are the differences between the POP and object oriented programming? The first difference is POP is machine dependent. That means the machine on which it is written, it will execute in that only. Now, whereas in object oriented programming, it is machine independent. So one is dependent and the other one is independent. The second difference is that POP executes the statements of program from first line towards the last line serially, sequentially, one by one. So it picks up one line, translates, checks for errors, and then convert it to machine language, execute and give us answer. So you'll go through 3 or 4 steps for each line each time it executes the line of programs. Whereas in object oriented, the entire object, the set of commands which are inside the functions or methods, they are called together by the user or by the program caller. So the objects are called from a class, from a method, whenever, wherever they are required. So the entire bunch of statements are invoked and called for doing the work. So they work in a group. Now third point about POP. POP is interpreter based. That means there is an inbuilt interpreter in POP programming system which will translate each line of commands into machine language one by one. So we can say that wherever there is any problem, any syntax error, any kind of difficulty in execution, the program stops at that particular line all of a sudden wherever it encounters mistake. On the other side, the object oriented is a compiler base. It has got inbuilt compiler. What it does, compiler? Compiler is meant for checking for all the possible syntax errors in a program, in object-oriented program, from first to the last, from right from beginning till the end. And when it is compiled successfully, the report is generated, no syntax error, then only the program can be ready for converting to machine code and then executed smoothly. Next point. The POP does not create object. So when you compile, it does not create object. It has no compiler at all, but when the interpreter will interpret the commands into machine language, convert into machine language, they don't create any kind of object. They do it on line basis, each line at a time. On the other side, POP will create objects. When the compiling process is completed successfully, it will create objects, and these objects are called bytecodes. The objects which are created after compiling are called bytecodes. Okay. So program which are written in object oriented, they are called source code, and after compilation, the codes are converted into block of binary machine language code. They are called bytecodes. Okay. Now next difference. Runs the program within precise operating system. Is talking about POP. It will execute the program, run the program in whichever operating system it is designed or it is created. It will work within that. So now in order to change it, we have to change the program, or we may have to change the structure of the program to execute from one to another. For example, if a monitor screen is the programming is done on a monitor that works supports graphics 9 mode and graphics 10 mode, or graphics 1 mode and 2 mode, they will not work in all the systems. So they work only in the precise system where it has been programmed. So in order to change it to other system, the program has to be modified to execute it there smoothly, especially when you're dealing with the graphics program of POP. I'm talking about basic. Now next one is in object oriented. They run the program on any machine because they are machine independent. They are not depending on any operating system. They are not depending, the program does not depend on any hardware settings, because the object-oriented programming they execute within the environment which is set by JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine. So they create an area where the program executes smoothly without any difficulty. Next difference, in POP is technically slow. POP is technically slow. Why it is slow? Because the programs are processed line by line. Okay. The other side, object oriented, they are technically faster because once the programs are compiled, there is nothing to worry about it, nothing to have attention that program will stop in the middle. Once the bytecodes are created, they execute very fast. And the last point, the POP, they are used very less these days. They are not in trend as compared to object oriented, because object oriented is the latest trend, the high level language that we use, and you find it almost everywhere, every colleges, universities, schools, higher educational syllabus. You find Java is being introduced or has been used for teaching the children or students. Now one more factor is there, because Java is introduced, because we are living in the world where internet has taken up almost all the work. So everywhere internet is important, and all the softwares, all the important program that works on the website, that relates and connects to the website, and they work with together with the website, they are developed in Java. Like for example, online, anything we do with the online shopping, online ordering, no, online purchasing, marketing, all these are done by the software which are created with object oriented, especially Java. Okay. Now this is all about the introduction part. Now we go to and see that little bit of history of Java. Since we already started talking about Java, now we should know a little bit about Java. So first thing is that Java was developed by James Gosling. It was developed by James Gosling, not alone, with the help of his team members. So with the help of his team members, and it was developed in the year 1990s. Okay, and when it was developed, it has taken some ideas from the C programming and C++ because it share the similar kind of syntax, command syntax, and the structure. Okay. In the beginning, it was not called as Java. It was given name as Oak. It was called as an Oak program because it was a name of a project that was given by James Gosling. And as a part of a project work, this system of Java programming language was developed. Okay. And then slowly it became popular in all over the world because they found the best use of Java in almost all the sectors, especially related to the website and related to the internet. Now we go to the next point, that what are the elements of program? I hope what I explained you just now about Java and program, the basic things, I hope it is clear to you. Now, moving on to the next. What are the elements of a program? What are the elements of a program? The first one, a computer program is a combination of many things. The first one starts with the keywords. No? Keywords are the command words that we use in program for writing commands. Then we use data, that is values, using the formula, numbers, alphabets. No? Then we use variables or symbolic names that represent the value. Then we use operators, different types of operators, unary, binary, ternary, infix, shorthand, relational, logical, and so on. There are many more operators. Many more operators are there. Okay. Then we use separators. In a part of program, we use separators, and these separators are also called as punctuators. Okay, comma, colon, semicolon. We use the brackets, different types of brackets. So they are also separators. And then the program also consists of expressions. The formula that we write, they are expression. The conditions that we write for controlling the functioning of program, they are expressions. Okay. Then we use statements, a complete line of commands, a meaningful complete line of commands without any syntax error. They are called statements. Okay. And then all these things are put together inside a group called blocks. Okay, they form a block. So how the blocks are formed? When all this set of commands, the data, variables, declarations, and all the things are put together in one group within a curly bracket, they form a block. So once they are put inside curly bracket, now they are safe from external misuse. We'll be discussing about the features of object-oriented, especially Java, very soon, and you can perform better in your exam. Okay, so this much for today. Keep in touch. Okay.